The 2013 action comedy starring Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, R.I.P.D, gets a sequel, but doesn't star any of them. Let's see if this sequel is worth your time. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more up and coming content. Recruited by the R.I.P.D, a resurrected sheriff returns to Earth to save humanity from a gateway to hell. So the action comedy, Jeff Bridges, Ryan Reynolds, I thought was bad. I liked it when it was first released, but watching it again as an adult, it's not a very good film. This was a surprise sequel with none of the original cast in here. It's a direct to VOD sequel from Universal Pictures, and it's based off of the Dark Horse comics, and there is several different versions of R.I.P.D comics, and there's a series called R.I.P.D City of the Damned, which works as like a prequel. So going into this film, I had no expectations. It's a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, but still a bad film. The one thing that makes this film not enjoyable to watch is they attempt humor. They attempt this dry sense of humor, being sarcastic from this sheriff who died, and they have to go through all of the steps of R.I.P.D, how it works, what are the laws behind it all. And then when he goes to Earth, he meets up with another person who works alongside him. She has died as well. They have those moments where they don't look like their normal selves, so they try to add some humor into that. There's a certain point in the film where the filmmakers just realize that the film isn't funny, and they just kind of forget about the humor and just go with an action film. For a good half of the film, it's really dry. It's not funny at all. It's very sarcastic. And then it just dives into an action film at the end of the movie. So the filmmakers just forget that it's a comedy and give up, and then we have an action film. Then we have our storyline. Very simple storyline of this sheriff who wants to see his daughter, but he doesn't look like himself anymore. And he is trying to find her fiance because her fiance is what makes her happy, and he wants her to be happy, but then her fiance is connected to the people that they need to look for part of the R.I.P.D. The sheriff and this woman named Jane get together and try to find these souls that they need to capture. They also have this guy who's trying to open up this gateway to hell. There's not a lot of things going on. It's a more of a journey film. We go from point A to point B. We see a character there. We go on from point A to point B again, and we see a character there. And then we have our main story at the end with the gateway to hell. Richard Blake is in here as the villain. He was in a lot of Rob Zombie films that I just watched, and I like his performance in here. Really chilling performance. He was pretty good, and especially of movies from like 3 from Hell, but here he gives a decent performance as our villain. But his storyline doesn't feel very necessary until the end of the movie. There's a little hints of what he's trying to do throughout the film, but is not developed well enough to feel that impact at the end of the movie. It's very anticlimactic at the end of the movie, especially with regards of the villain's story from Richard Blake. So the comedy does not work. It's dry, it's sarcastic, but it's not funny. The storyline is weak, it's not developed, it's just very simple. But then we have the visuals. There is some bad CGI in here, but it feels very polished. For a film being set in like a Western setting and set in the late 1800s, I expected it to be a little dirty. The film looks very clean. Like, the costumes are always nice and polished, dry cleaned, everything. It just looks shiny. And I thought it would have been more grittier and dirtier compared to what we got, which doesn't make it very believable or realistic as well. So the way that it looks, it does look very fake. Like they were trying too hard to make it look really nice and polished and clean, and instead we could have got a dirty action film with humor and it would have been decent, but it instead just looks very clean for the time that it was supposed to be set in. Jeffrey Donovan and Penelope Mitchell star as Roy and Janine, are two main characters in here. There is some development to their relationship. They have some good chemistry. They're not like the best duo I've ever seen, but they do work within this film as they start to rely on each other, as he's starting to learn more about the R.I.P.D and the roles behind it all. They start to open up with each other and protect each other as well. The film, once again, just tries to tell you everything about the R.I.P. It's like we had to forget everything from that first film. There's a lot of time where they tell us everything about R.I.P.D, the rules, who they need to capture, essentially the same conversation and the same dialogue as that first film. So they're repeating a lot of things. That film came out almost 10 years ago. They made it as almost like that first film didn't exist, and they spent too much time going over everything from your person changing characters and the rules and the law and who they need to capture. Just a lot of time on that. So R.I.P.D 2 Rise of the Damned was a sequel that I didn't expect to come out, and it was bad. Humor, the characters, the story, the visuals, all of it was just weak. I thought it was going to be absolutely trash. There was times I did enjoy it, but overall it's just not a very good film. So before I give you my score for R.I.P.D 2 Rise of the Damned, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit the subscribe button to get it all in one spot. And if you'd like to see where R.I.P.D 2 Rise of the Damned ranks amongst all the other 2022 releases I've seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd and there you can find my ranking. I'm going to go ahead and give this film a C-. Thank you guys for checking my review for R.I.P.D 2 Rise of the Damned. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? It is on Netflix. Let me know what you thought about the film in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.